What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Now, there is one thing for sure, as far as single target damage goes for DPSing ogres or bosses, whichever the case is, there is just no substitution for the Propeller Cat. The Propeller Cat, of course, is going to drop from the Alchemical Labs at Wave 15, and really what you're looking for is that pet power there. Pet power, anything over 2.0 is going to be relatively decent and a great starting point. As you see, I've got this one that's at 2.12 now that it's fully upgraded, and it's doing a great job for me. Now, one of the things that make the Prop Cat so powerful is a percentage increase. It is not a flat scaler, which means as you grow in power from getting better weapons or higher stats, the Prop Cat is actually going to be giving you more of a bonus as it is increasing your damage output as a percentage of the damage that you do. Now, another issue with getting the Prop Cats is this particular map. Alchemical Labs, of course, is the fourth map at the end of Act 1, and one of the things that makes it so that a lot of people don't want to do it as it does take a really long time. So hopping right on into Alchemical Labs here, and let's see if we can get a semi-AFK build all dialed in. Now, as I mentioned, one of the deals with this map is it just does take a little while to run. Now, with it taking a long time to run, that of course comes from the combination of both really slow lanes plus very high mob counts. You will get up over 2,600 mobs just playing solo before you get to Wave 15, and it makes it so this map is not usually people's favorite as far as something to go all the way to Wave 25. Now, the Prop Cat, however, is well worth hopping in and giving this map a run, even if you don't get a great roll on a Prop Cat. Just having one is just a huge benefit. So let's go ahead and get things started off here with a semi-AFK build for Alchemical Labs Nightmare Hardcore Survival. Now remember, since this is a semi-AFK build, you will be able to do this build with lesser stats. To do this build exactly, you're going to have about 2,000 power and at least 1,000 rate on your builders. That's going to allow you to semi-AFK through the runs, assuming you have enough health on your traps to be able to survive each individual wave. Now, if you have lower stats, by all means, give this build a shot, but just be prepared to participate more by helping to DPS the ogres, upgrading walls, killing spiders, repairing anything that might need repairs as you go through the map. Now, to get things started off here, we're going to get our 4 walls in place. We're only going to use 4 walls for this map as a main wall, as far as blocking the main aspects of the lanes. We are going to have some other walls into the map as far as spider traps go. However, as far as the basic build and just maintaining the lanes, it will require you put in 4 walls. So we're going to go with a wall and an explosive trap at each one of the side entrances, and then we're going to come along to up here. Now, we're going to go with our walls further back here. We're going to put them right at the top of the stairs. The reason we're going here is it does provide a last resort from this lane. So anything that wants to come out of this lane that's going to make a right, 99% of everything through this lane is going to die, just since we're only going to Wave 15. However, if anything does make it through, it is going to encounter another blockade here and won't just have a straight shot at your core. Now, just to get the map started, we are going to go with that 1 wall and the explosive trap on each lane. I'm making sure to get the explosive trap out far enough where there's very little of the actual targeting behind the blockade, and really, if you don't have the range on your traps, just put the explosive trap a little further out front, and we will explain why later on. Now, just to speed up this first few waves and collecting the mana, I am going to go with a DPS hero in the deck now that we no longer need any sort of a waller. So As you see, just wave 1, obviously just 40 mobs, it's going to be kind of a piece of cake, just burn right through it. You will have Sharkin coming out in wave 1, which means you will want to keep an eye out for those, as if they charge your walls, they're going to move them, you're going to have to rebuild them, and, you know, although not really a huge deal, just kind of an inconvenience. So Sharkin and Jin really should be your priority. If you see any spiders jumping around, of course, plug some shots into those as well, and that will really help you just speed through wave number 1. Now, as you see, although it is wave 1, we still do have ogres. So we've got an ogre rolling out right now, and relatively low health there, just 1 million, so we are just going to burn that baddie right down ourselves. And then, one more spider over here, and it's the GG. Now, taking a look at the waves and just the kind of the structure of the map. Any Sharkin on the map are going to come out of these top lanes, which means to negate the Sharkin, we really need to use some sort of crowd control. For this run, I'm going to use gas traps. Anytime that I want to fully AFK something, I usually do use gas traps, as they just don't require much health on them to last through multiple waves, not just one of them. Now I'm going to put the gas trap back as far as I can all the way to the wall. Basically, I want the effective range of the gas trap to not be stunning enemies outside of my explosive trap. Now this does mean the explosive trap is going to put in some work. However, it's going to give us an area for damage to be done with the enemies CC'd outside. Now, from there, we can do one of many things. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some auras down. We're going to go with an electric aura here. We're going to put it up top here. And the reason being is we don't need to have it going all the way into the spawn. But what we do want is for it to kill any spiders that drop up in this area. Now, of course, any spider that does come out that is immune to electric damage is going to take no damage from that. But this will kill the bulk of them. So we've got something here to start addressing the spiders. Let's just go ahead and pop right back on our DPS hero and continue along in getting the rest of the map built out. Alright, and here we are at the start of wave 3, and we won't be able to complete the build, I don't think. We might be able to, but we can get the majority of it built out. Now, one thing I want to start doing now is working on some of the true power of the defense, and that's going to be the Deadly Strike Tower. As most of you know, the Deadly Strike is just in a great place right now, with us being kind of on the entry side of Nightmare mode. The Deadly Striker Tower is going to prioritize Nightmare enemies, plus it's got ridiculous range and shoots through walls. Who could ask for anything more? I guess we could ask for an explosion at the end of it to turn it into an AoE tower, but besides that, the Deadly Strikes are in a really good spot. Now we've got this lovely little alcove on both sides of the map, one here and one over there, and this is where our Deadly Strikes are going to go. Now first off, your very first one, you want to put it back in the corner as far on that table as you can get it. Now the reason we're going to do that is we're going to turn it in a way where it actually is going to cover all 4 lanes. So we've got 4 lanes of coverage going on right now with the DST. We're going to do the exact same thing on this side of the map, and we're going to make it so that we have 4 lanes of coverage. So that is a huge addition. However, we all know there's going to be spiders. There's a spider drop point right here. There's a spider drop point here, and a spider drop point here. So what are these spiders going to do? They're going to run directly over towards our DSTs. So what we're going to do here is just put in a little spider trap. So I'm going to drop an explosive trap just dead center right in the middle of this little ramp going up. And then I want to get an apprentice waller to go ahead and throw down 2 kind of decoy walls. Now if you look at this little line at the edge of this brick here, that is the line where you're going to want to put your wall. As long as it is slightly behind that line, or even right at it like I have here, it's going to provide you spider protection. As all 3 of these spider drop points, the spiders will naturally aggro to those walls. So let's go ahead and put another one right here on that same little line on the edge of the brick over on this side. Now when we take a look at what else we have, let's see, we've got 500 DU left, which is a nice chunk, or 500 mana left, pardon me, to go ahead and finish out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put another DST. We're going to find a spot in here for it. Looks like right on top of that statue will work. Now, with this particular DST this far forward, we're not going to be able to get 4 lanes of coverage. Now, we will come really close to it. Actually, it looks like it's going to get me 4 lanes of coverage right there. So I take that back. We will get 4 lanes of coverage. So the right side of the cone is basically running straight across this line right here. Now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing at the other side. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give our DSTs full protection versus Ogre Snot. There is no Ogre Snot that's going to hit any of these 4 DSTs. In fact, the Ogres won't even target them. They're going to target these 2 walls. Now that's going to leave 8 DU left, and what do we do with 8 DU? Well, there's a couple of choices. What I normally do with the 8 DU is just as a little additional damage right here in this area, I will usually put down an Ensnare Aura and an Electric Aura. Now, no Strength Drain Aura in the mix, so anything that is immune to electric damage is gonna make it through, and you're gonna have to wait to that Explosive Trap or the DSTs to proc to hit those enemies. However, everything else is just gonna get smoked. Now, this is going to give us some protection on the back side of these blockades from any spiders that drop in the middle area here. There's one big problem with doing this. First off, if you don't have good range on your auras, they're not going to extend to both sides of the walls. So if you don't have decent aura range, you might want to consider moving them up front, where it will eliminate the protection you get from spiders. However, it will still put a nice bit of damage output on these lanes up top here. So I like to go right there in the middle. However, use that 8 DU however you want to do it. Use different defenses. You could sneak another DST in somewhere if you wanted to. There's another big glaring problem with putting that electric aura right there, and that is right here is about the best spot on the map to AFK. If you just go AFK right here during the wave, in like wave 14 and wave 13 and 14, you will get an occasional Dark Elf Warrior that makes it over to you to smack you once. However, it's not going to kill you, and it's going to quickly die by the Explosive Traps, the DSTs, or the Electric Aura. The other thing about this spot, and this being a really, really incredible AFK spot, is you're gonna have your eardrums bleed a little bit. So turn your audio off if you want to fully AFK it. If not, this Electric Aura here is going to drive you mad and give you that fork in the microwave sound over and over and over again constantly through the whole map. Now you can also AFK back here, but you will get hit occasionally by a spider and maybe a Dark Elf Warrior. That spot right by the furnace is really just a sweet spot, there's just no doubt, for AFK, but you will get some bleeding ears out of the deal. So let's go ahead and just get this next wave running, and you can see how it does. We'll be able to see the spiders dropping back here, and we'll be able to get a good feel for what's going on. Now this is a semi-AFK, not a full AFK build, so in between waves, you are going to have to do repairs and upgrades. I personally prioritize the Explosive Traps first. For upgrades, the Electric Auras second, and the DSTs third. Now the reason I choose that order is it basically saves me from doing any repairs until I get into the later waves, as you can just go through and hit one upgrade on each of those things each wave, and then you're not going to have to repair anything, because you're going to get the free repair and increased health from the upgrade, and it allows you just to kind of chillax back here and wait for getting your cat. Now you see those DSTs are going to town, 4 lanes coverage, so you've got 4 DSTs covering all 4 areas, and just really good spots with 0 chance of getting hit by a spider or getting hit by an Ogre Snotball. So good stuff on those little alcoves. By all means, stack you up some DSTs over here. I actually tried to get them up here on that, but I couldn't get anything placed up there. I think that would have been about the coolest spot to put them up top there. This little area, like I mentioned, is 100% just a spider trap. No other purpose at all. So, I mean, if you want to kill the spiders manually, or if you want to do something else, this could be extra DU as well. A few additions you could make to the lanes is, obviously, you could throw some more crowd control in. So, like, ensnare Rs on these side lanes would be awesome, as that would really slow the mobs coming out. In addition to that, remember, that would slow the ogre's attack speed on your walls, so the walls won't take as much damage. But everything else is pretty much a straight-up steamroll right at the moment. You see the snotball went to that wall there, so no big issue there. So let's go ahead and jump on forward to Wave 14 and our final cat wave, and I will show you exactly how the map is upgraded out from that point. Alright, so here we are back at the start of Wave 14, our kitty cat wave. Now this is what the map looks like at the end of the wave. This was with me going full AFK at Wave 13. So you see our explosive traps definitely all need some repairs. Gonna need to go around and just throw some repairs around. This, as I mentioned, this is not a full AFK build. This is definitely a semi-AFK. So just gonna spray around some repairs wherever it's needed. Now, as you see here, we got 2,600 plus mobs coming up. This entire area up front here is just a massive meat grinder. There's just a lot of mobs that end up coming in here and dying. And this map does take forever to run. Now, you could speed things up, of course, by like moving your explosive traps and your wall setups up here to kill the mobs a little bit sooner and not have them have to walk through this entire stretch. However, remember, this is set up as an AFK design, so I wanted to put these walls back just as a last resort so nothing could get a kind of a straight shot at the core by sneaking through this way. But everything is run extremely smooth. Like I said, it's just another boring AFK build, so this map, for me personally, is not the most fun for me to run. It's not my favorite map in the game. I've seen enough of it. It takes forever to run, and it does have an awesome reward out of that cat. So it's one of those maps that you're just going to have to run. Some people, this would be their favorite map. Now, as I mentioned, I did go through and prioritize upgrading all of the explosive traps and the electric auras. This explosive trap in the back I didn't full up. I guess now I could, because there's just nowhere else to spend the rest of the mana. And then I upgraded the DSTs last. So explosive traps and auras first, DSTs last, and now here we go on our kitty cat wave, and we should just be able to kind of chillax it back here. I might get hit, take one or two shots from Dark Elf Warrior. Since I'm up here out in the open, there's probably a pretty solid chance I might get spidered on once or twice here through the course of this map, but I wanted to kind of kick it up here so you all could see what was happening through the map. During the waves that I didn't record, I jumped right down here, and I just kind of stood right here. It's not close enough to the electric bars to make your ears bleed, so that makes it a better spot, in my opinion, than up here. However, this is without a doubt just a super, super safe spot, but it is just ungodly noisy. So I'm taking the less noisy route by coming back here and just kind of chillaxing. But like I said, I want to at least stand up on this ledge here so you all can see what's going on. The Sharkin that come out just kind of get plucked through. The Ogres will make it all the way through the walls. The DSTs won't target the Ogres as long as there's another Nightmare enemy in its range to target. So the Spiders do distract quite a bit from the DSTs. However, with that Ensnare aura up there on those walls, the Ogres are just not getting off enough shots or doing enough damage to the walls where I really have to worry about it. So even though the DST may not target the Ogre as fast as you would like it to, it's still just not a huge deal. You can let the Ogres get a few shots off, and eventually the DSTs will take them out. But see, we're not even a third of the way through yet. Holy crap. This map just takes a while. Now, of course, this map was in the beta as well, so even though we didn't have the Nightmare mode then, we still had the slow, relatively slow-moving map with the large mob counts. And now we see that meat grinder in action. It's just, there's just a lot of mobs out of that top there. And you just gotta sit there and wait for them all to feed themselves into the meat grinder over on that side of the map. The DSTs are staying busy. You see they're sniping spiders, they're getting the Sharkin and Jin and everything else up there in the packs. But for the most part, we're relying a lot on the explosive traps and the electric auras. Now, once again, no strength drain auras anywhere on the map here. So the explosive, of course, is physical. So anything that makes it through the electric aura that might be immune to electric damage is just going to get blown up by the explosive traps. So I don't have any big concerns with it there. That ogre got some nice shots on that wall, but still not even at 75% wall health. Just doing really good. So it is, without a doubt, a full-on snoozer if you are wanting to build to snooze out a kitty cat or two. Now, like I said, it's just this map for me personally. I know a lot of people love this map. I just really don't get very excited about an opportunity to go in and play Alchemical Labs anymore. Now, I do enjoy killing the Demon Lord, so once we get the chance to get some decent loot out of the Demon Lord, I will definitely be farming that guy. But as far as doing survival on Alchemical Labs, it is just a really slow-paced meat grinder that you just kind of wait it out as it's all doing its thing. So they're burning a little bit quicker now. Towards the end of the waves, I guess that's one big benefit. There is a big zerg from little trash mobs and gobus right at the end of the waves, and it makes those last several hundred mobs just burn out super fast. So that's one plus side, I guess, with the large mob counts here on this map for sure. And we should be getting real close to getting us another kitty cat. I still haven't gotten an incredible one, but on that same note, I haven't put any effort in. I think this is going to be maybe like my 5th or 6th total cat run so far. So it's not like I've been grinding it and not getting a good kitty cat. But let's see. That one's actually not bad. It may actually even be better than the one I have. Let me see. Oops, wrong hero. It's pretty close to the one I have. It has one additional target on it. This would be, it's got all 4 builder stats, which, not that you'd want to use a cat on your builder, but if for some strange reason you did want to, it's got that going for it. But not a terrible kitty cat. Not a great one, but not terrible as well. But that will do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. When you do these AFK pet runs and you plan on leaving right away, remember, always start the last wave first. That way you can auto-collect all that gold and any loot on the ground before you head back out to your tavern. But that will do it for today. Thanks an absolute ton, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.